Hi, everybody, especially nighttime students. My name is David Pyle, and I'm a professor and an advisor in the advising office in room 313 on the third floor at the Chicago campus. This is going to be a screencast-o-matic that gives the basics of our intranet that all professors use here at Robert Morris University, and that intranet is called Blackboard. Blackboard. If you've never used Blackboard before, or even if you have and you'd like a little more insight, this should help you out. You're also welcome to come see me on the third floor in room 313. That's right in the middle at the Chicago campus. And if you'd like to write down my phone number, 312 935 6245. And you can also reach me at dpyle@robertmorris.edu. So, if you've never used Blackboard, what Blackboard is an online housing system. It's a way to communicate between professors and students. Now, of course, with the AEM, which means adult evening model. So if you're a night student, then you're an AEM student. We have very limited time in the classroom. So Blackboard allows professors and students to communicate with each other during the week. So the general idea is that a class will last an hour and 50 minutes or 1 hour by chance if you go from 8 to 9 p.m. Some classes go from 6 to 9:30. But with limited seat time, there's responsibilities outside of the classroom. So what I'd like to do is show you a little bit about Blackboard. As you can see, this is a computer here, and I'm recording this screencast-o-matic. All you'll need to do is click the computer on a computer screen from the Robert Morris website. You'll go, actually, I can actually show you how to get to Blackboard. And in fact, if you want to make sure that you check Blackboard often and also that you check your Robert Morris email often. From the Robert Morris email, you can just a couple clicks under setting, have all your emails from Robert Morris email forwarded to a different email account if you happen to use that a different one more. Students are responsible for keeping up with both Blackboard and your email, so make sure you check it quite frequently, as oftentimes if there's any additional information or announcements that need to be delivered from professor to student and also vice versa, then you'll be able to be in the know, so to speak. So this is our Robert Morris homepage here. You can see that this space, my RMU here, student can access Blackboard and email, and also your audit and other information about you as a student. So this will show all the classes you have and also classes that you need to have. From over here under the quick links, by clicking this, we can see that here is the spot for Blackboard here. We also have under here a library. Then you can search all the titles and DVDs that we have for free in the library and check. You could check those out for free. And we also have children's books too, if by chance you have a family, etc. Scholarships and other things are available here, information. So you can see there's a lot, contact faculty, anybody in the building, you can have access to the phone book that we house here online. So you'll be able to get any professor's email. Professors generally have their first initial and their last name at robertmorris.edu for to be able to email them. And also under contact faculty, phone numbers are available as well. So for example, as already mentioned, David Pyle is my name and dpyle@robertmorris.edu would be my email. Now, one thing you want to make sure that you do put as the extension .edu for the university as opposed to .com, which is sometimes a common mistake from students. We're so used to typing .com. So once again, all I need to do is click this drop-down menu from the Robert Morris homepage, and I'll select Blackboard. And Blackboard, unless a student goes in and changes the information, the Blackboard login and your email login, and in fact your Robert Morris login are all going to be the same thing. One thing different between Blackboard and email is that you do not need to put at Robert Morris EDU here into this field because you're not sending an email here. You're just gaining access to the Blackboard site, which once again has all your classes, interaction between all your classes. So that's my username there. And I can hit the tab button. We'll very quickly take the cursor from one field to the other. And I type my password in here, Super Freak, and I log in. And now I can see all of my classes and all of my interaction that I deal with here at Robert Morris University. You'll see these are currently the two classes that I'm teaching. One is a COM 325 Advanced Communication, and the other one is a Creative Expressions Creative Writing class. You will see, if you have three classes, you'll see all three of your classes here. And by clicking any of these links will take you directly to the Blackboard site of that class. So this is exactly what the student sees. I do have up here on mine, because I'm the professor, I have an edit button here that has behind the scenes stuff, and this is how I and other professors add material. But everything you see here is exactly what you and all the other students will see. So I've got a little, this is a creative writing class, so this is taking my little creative writing idea notebook to breakfast here. It's a little kind of a silly picture. This is called a banner right here. And you can see some announcements are here as well. So I've created a couple tests and everything that I'll show during this screencast-o-matic on how to take a test. Now, many professors prefer, much as we're looking at here, as you know, Robert Morris Quarter is 10 weeks. So under each of these weeks, I will create a week. I just call this a weekly folder or a weekly button here on Blackboard. So under week one, after the class, and sometimes before the class, to be able to show it in class, under the week one folder, this is exactly what we did week one. So we have all the information in there. So we do that for week one, week two, week three, and goes all the way up to week 8, 9, and 10. And currently, when I'm recording this podcast, it is the summer quarter of 2015, and I've got the final 3 weeks of material up here. But every single one of these weeks houses everything, well, this is the way I do it, everything that I passed out in class. So these are all folders right here. And then I have some links. So for example, this is an external link here that takes students to information on Wikipedia here. This is a local poet that invented Poetry Slam for the creative, or in the creative writing. So I wanted people to know a little bit of background. So as you can see, within each of these weeks, the professor, and once again, that in this case, this is me, Pyle, I've put what I wanted to in each of the weeks. Now, one thing I'll say about Blackboard is, although we are moving toward having some kind of what we say template or standard for all the professors to use for Blackboard sites, we're currently not all the way there, but that doesn't matter. A few things about Blackboard is you will not just, the best advice I can give you is just go in and start at the top of the buttons over here on the side and just click every single one. So you can go all the way up and down the buttons here, and this will take you to different parts. You won't damage anything by clicking around, by digging around to get a little oversight or get a feeling as to what is actually here on the Blackboard site. So what I'm saying is not all professors currently will have week one folder, week two folder, week five, week six, seven folder, etc. Sometimes we have general buttons like assignments, sometimes we have general buttons like resources, etc. Now, with that said, although there might be slightly different appearance over here for all the buttons or the headers here on the Blackboard site, pretty much Blackboard is used for all the same items to store assignments that we post, to have a what we call discussion board, to be able to put links in. Students can submit assignments here through Blackboard. Students can take tests and quizzes, etc. So don't be worried if you're in a class that doesn't have this type of particular organization of the weeks here. If you're looking for an assignment and the professor has an assignment button, there's a good chance that what you're looking for will be under that assignment button. Another way to think about it is I was out of town with family members over the weekend, and one of my friends down there had a rent-a-car, and I was in the front seat of the rent-a-car, and I wanted to roll the window down, and I looked at the door, and it was not like the door and window that I have in my own vehicle. And in fact, my car is so old, I have one of those old-fashioned roll the window down things. But anyway, so even though it didn't look exactly like my car, I know a car's feature has on the door someplace to roll down the window, so I just clicked a few buttons until the window rolled down. So don't be afraid to explore here. You would probably want to spend a lot of time. The students are usually loaded into Blackboard the Friday before the quarter started, although sometimes because professors are still grading and submitting grades all the way through the weekend, sometimes there's not all material in there. And in fact, sometimes don't be worried even if you don't see the class yet, because sometimes I, even before a quarter will start, turn off uh, the the site until I can stock it with material and assignments, etc. And then I'll make the class available to students. Now, week one, when you go into your first class, if the professor says, I've opened the Blackboard site for this class, and or he or she shows it to you uh, in the um, in the class, if you don't see that, you do need to email your professor and or give him or her a phone call or speak to him or her in person to let him or her know that you're not yet in the class. That only really happens under very rare conditions. So, also with that said, don't wait until week 5 to let a professor know that you're having trouble accessing or getting around or finding things on the Blackboard site. You should hopefully know by now that in general professors are very nice. Don't be afraid to send a professor an email or call or ask to speak to a professor before or after class, or visit the professor in the office to even sit down and take you through the site if you have any questions. So we do have a lot of resources. Okay, so with all that said, the last thing I'll say is that, for example, this button here where the cursor is on the screen, this is a discussion board. So this is a place where oftentimes we'll pose a question or have a student view a video, and then in this public forum, and by public I mean only the members of the class have access to this material. In fact, only the people in your class and the professor are involved in this particular class. So in this case, only my creative writing students can have access to this particular class with me. So I've created a discussion board here, and in this case, we found this link under the discussion board. So by clicking discussion board here, the place to post your comments on Chicago weather in the summer comes up under discussion board. However, much like a lot of items or philosophies within a computer, a student can get to where they need to get to by going different routes. So what I'm going to show you here is under weeks 8, 9, and 10, I've also got the link to the discussion board here. So you can see under that weeks 8, 9, and 10 folder, I have a link to the discussion board here. So in this case, a student can get to the discussion board by clicking the current week, which once again, we're in week 9. So a student can get to the discussion board here by clicking this link, or the student can go through it the other way here as well. There's absolutely no difference in the manner at which a student arrives. So once again, if you're looking to post on the discussion board, and for example, if this button isn't here, you should know that the discussion board is somewhere in there. It just may take a couple of minutes to find what you need. Okay, so there's more than one way to get to where you need to go. All right, well, I guess as long as we're in discussion board or close to it at least, let's start with the discussion board. So if you have a discussion board assignment, this is exactly how you as a student would post your opinions in the discussion board. Now, the first thing I would say about the idea of posting in a discussion board is to actually type up your responses first in a Microsoft Word document. So I'm a little bit out of the frame right here, but I could open up a Microsoft Word document. The reason why I say to put material in a Microsoft Word document is that if you post material directly into the dialog box on discussion board, I mean, I've been working on material and all of a sudden I've accidentally kicked the cord for the computer. Maybe the power goes out for some reason, etc. And you might end up losing all that material before you have a chance to officially submit it into the discussion board. So I always say to play it safe and type the material, whatever you're doing or submitting to Blackboard, type it into a Microsoft Word document that, for example, has automatic saving once every 5 minutes, etc. And this way you've got a backup copy of it and you won't lose material. So let's see, I'm going to just minimize my response here and let's go into the discussion board. So once again, I'm in week 9 because we're in week 9 here in the class. I want students to post to this silly question that I made up here. So a student will just click this link here. So this says summertime and the living is easy. And as you can tell, much like when computers show us information, this is a different color here than this text here. And by the way, here's how you spell my name here. So this actually, anytime you see words here in a different color, just like on a computer a lot of times, this is actually a separate link here. So I've opened up the forum, Chicago weather in the summer, and the next step is to click this link here, summertime and the living is easy. At this point, this will bring up the instructions that the professor has for you, whether it's to click a link and view a video and then comment on it, or read something from the textbook about whatever subject you're studying and comment on it, etc. I've got a very simple one. Using the title of a James Brown song, post your opinion as to how you feel in Chicago during the summer months. All right, so I'm going to go back to my document using a James Brown song. I feel fine during the summer, so this is going to be my symbolic response here about how I feel in Chicago. Obviously, I'm making a reply to the discussion board, so I'd click reply here, and this opens up a dialog box here. And once again, you can decide to type it right in there if you'd like. However, I do it in Microsoft Word, and actually it's saying I can't use my mouse to cut and paste here. So I see here, okay, it's Control C and then Control V for paste. Hey, no problem, computer, whatever you'd like. And there we go. I feel fine during the summer in discussion board. Now, with a lot of this idea of submitting material to Blackboard, there is this over here, one important response or final thing to do, and that's actually to submit. And now I've done that, and you know in the discussion board that you're where you need to be because this is a public forum, meaning anybody in the class can see the material. And you could see here that I feel fine during the summertime when the living is easy. So you'll know that you're successful when you end up seeing your response attached to your name here. The reason why you see these reply buttons is oftentimes as professors will say post something yourself, but also visit and read a couple other students' material and make comments on it. So I can actually comment on myself or other students. I feel fine too. Notice I got the right two there. Remember, this is a public forum. Make sure your spelling is where it needs to be. And in fact, hey, here's a spell check button up here for you. You can do different kinds of fonts, or you can put emoticons, whatever you'd like in here. Uh, which silly one in here? I'll put this one that's kind of colorful. And then I go back over and hit submit. So now you can see I have my original post and also my second post there. And that's all I need to do for the posting on discussion board. So let's revisit the week 8, 9, and 10 link. Remember, we can go through discussion board or in the folders, and this is the way we went in. You can also see for this bit of material here that I have other material. This is basically the homework. And once again, because this is in light brown here, this is a separate link. This is actually a document that I posted into the folder here. Now, for me, I've uh, actually printed this sheet and handed it out in class as well. So if a student is in class, he or she already has this information. But if a student is absent, this is perfect for them because it makes it very easy for them to find the instructions of what we plan to do during our final couple weeks in class here. So these are all the details that I've passed out to students here. And I'm moving this up a little bit. I'm going to close this out. So in this case, we had the material that I passed out in class here. This is also the same thing. This is the idea of a cultural excursion that we might go see some poetry, etc. So that's what this is, and then here's the discussion board. Now, anytime you see a link here like this with the check mark, this is how students submit material from your computer to the professor's computer. The idea is that to allow me, in this case the professor, to view your material quickly and easily, instead of the old school, you hand me a sheet of paper with your material on it a week later. That's somewhat of a passe idea. So a lot of the material is submitted electronically from your computer to my computer. And it's actually better that way because I can actually type comments onto your paper and then submit the paper back to Blackboard, and only you have access to your grades and your paper and the comments that I've typed onto the draft of your paper. This is very good news because 10 years ago or 15 years ago, my handwriting is so terrible that I would always have students ask me, what does this say? I can't read this. So using the Microsoft Word feature, I'm able to review the paper and type comments using the computer keyboard, and then I make that draft available to you. Now, in this case, we're writing short stories in this class. We're getting near the end of the quarter. We've had 2 or 3 drafts on this. So we can see that this underlying link here is a submission. And it says, please place your final draft of your original short story here. So let's say that you've typed some draft 3, and in this case, night student's assignment. This is actually your pretend story that you've typed and saved somewhere on your computer. And this is the document that I'm going to show you how to submit that will get the material from you to me. So back here, I've typed my draft. It says final draft, so I click here just like this. This brings me to the details of the assignment. So I have the due date and how many points this is worth. You can see that there's some comments here. Hi, Pyle. I'm writing a note to myself here. And this browse, here's the attach file button. So if you've ever attached a photograph or a document to an email, etc., this is the exact same process. So I go to attach file here, and I browse my computer, and the computer will say, I go to desktop here because I know that's where I've stored my draft. Here's your original story here that you've created. So I click that and hit open. You'll see that the material is here and the name of the file is here. So I've attached the material to the assignment manager here in Blackboard, one final step. As always, I just need to hit the submit button, and now the material has been delivered from you to me, the professor. Now, when I go in behind the scenes, I'll be able to see your material there. So we've covered what the buttons are. We've covered discussion board and how to post. We've covered how to send material in the form of Microsoft Word documents from yourself to me. And we've also looked at the backup of the material that we've had. So there's a little bit in each week. It's somewhat of the same bit of material. So these are lectures that I delivered. Actually, we didn't have a lot of time in the class, so I've got some screencast-o-matics actually that a student can click on, just like you're doing here, and listen to the material on poetry, etc. There's my cat there, my little idea journal sleeping in, etc. So you can see there's a little bit under each week here. Okay, so those are the folders and the files up there for weekly files. And let's examine the rest of these buttons down here. I think the default name for this button is Tools. And I go into this here and I've renamed it Email, Grades, and Tools because these are the three most important items under the Tool page on my Blackboard site. I can see here send email. So from this link here, you have the email addresses of all the other students in your class. You also have the professor's email as well. So if you want to send an email to one student, hey, let's go over to the Art Institute for free, you just go here and select that student's name and put it over on the other side. And then, hi, etc. And then blah, 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 and hit submit, and this will automatically send an email from the Blackboard to, in fact, you can see here I sent an email to myself. So you can decide to send all the students in the class. If you're in a certain group, there will be a button over here with groups on it, and only your group members can see and post material to the group, but you can either email your group, etc. So that's the email under the Tools button. Also, some of these a professor would use, some not. You can see here's another way to get to the discussion board here. Contacts, wikis, etc., the my labs, etc. This is an important item that students do like, so professors often will post grades into the My Grades feature. And this is very good because it allows you, if the professor is going on a point system or a percentage system, to let you, the student, know where he or she stands in the class. So every few weeks in this particular writing class, I'll go in and I'll put a cumulative grade. Now, I'm not a student, so I have no grades to myself, which is why users with my role as a professor, I don't have any personal grades. But otherwise, you would see a list of all the assignments here, so it'd be final draft of a short story, and you'd have a grade over here, etc. So that's where a student can check under grades. Most of the time, this will say tools. But once again, click all the buttons. You can discover everything yourself that you need under the buttons. You're not going to mess anything up by clicking around here. Okay, discussion board we've already looked at. We've already actually posted as well. So here's, you can see here that the material that we've posted just a little while ago is here. So that's once again discussion board. I put the word yummy under resources because I want it to be memorable. But for outside links or, if a professor is linking to a certain TV show or anything like that, outside resources, outside websites, things like that, a professor might decide to post them under the resources button here. So for example, here I have a link from Wikipedia. This is a creative writing class. And I want the students to look at and see all the famous writers that are from Chicago. John Cusack, who else we got here? This is a science fiction writer, Philip K. Dick, etc. So this is all writers from Chicago, Illinois that I've linked to under the Yummy resources here. I've also got other elements and PowerPoints and documents that I'm posting here. How to write poetry. So once again, these are resources that I, as a professor, have found, and I've put them into the resources section of Blackboard. This is a creative writing class, and although this is probably somewhat rare, but I'm doing all the assignments that the students are doing as well. So I'm writing as well and posting this under this button I've created that allows me to post my own creative writings so that students can see publicly my process and result of writing just like they are. Family photos is just a place that photos can be submitted from students. They email me photos and post them up. So recently in Chicago, we had the NFL draft. This was you can see a very extensive structure here over in Grant Park on Michigan Avenue. So this photo is posted here under family photos, etc. Faculty information too is exactly like it sounds. Here is a one-stop shop, so to speak. If you need my phone number, my email, where my office is, and when I'm down there. These all professors really should be posting this information. Here's a little picture of me on stage reading a story at a storytelling event because it's creative writing. P.S. I bombed big time. That's all available under faculty information. The syllabus, unfortunately, these days, we have so limited time in the class. Even the idea of going through a syllabus, which usually takes over an hour for me, it's not available. This time in the class isn't available anymore. So I usually produce a screencast-o-matic for the syllabus that explains the syllabus, but I've also got it here in the under the syllabus button on Blackboard, and the syllabus remains there the entire quarter. And you'll have access to that in your own um, uh, class as well under syllabus here. Now, you'll see a button on most professors' classes, and it says help. And I've gone in to change the title of this to more accurately describe exactly what it is. So when it says help, this doesn't send help or your question directly to me, Pyle, a professor. This is actually for Blackboard help. So if you need help with Blackboard above and beyond what I'm offering to you, just by clicking the help link on Blackboard. This will take you into all the different material and buttons. This is exactly what we're going over. Here's how to find where your grades are and how to submit an assignment, etc., etc. So all this online, you can see they have search buttons, etc., search fields. All this is available to you in Blackboard. Close tabs. Let's see, I only want to close one tab, so I'll close it from up here. All right, Blackboard help. I do offer extra credit, so I've housed that in one area. I've created this button, and these are some extra credit that the students could take advantage of during the class. Announcements, really, there's no when a student signed on. So this is the first place that we looked at when we signed on to Blackboard. So the announcements are posted here, and you can see I've let you know that we have a test posted. So I'm going to show you as the last thing on this demonstration of how to use Blackboard here, how to take a test or a quiz. Now, in this week 9 folder, if I want you to take this quiz week 9, I didn't do it for this particular example, but I could also have created a link to the quiz under week 9 as well, so that you'd be able to actually, in the folder, click on the link and take the quiz. In this case, I don't do online quizzes for the creative writing, so I created this test just to show you how to take a test here. Otherwise, I would probably have it in week 9. But just like a lot of things as mentioned, you can get to where you need to go to 2 different buttons, and I've clicked test and quizzes. So here's Pyle's Blackboard test example. Test illustrates how to take a quiz. So I clicked on the test button here, or the quiz button, and this takes us here. When I put my cursor over my name here, this is how to launch the test. So I click that link right here and it will bring us to the test. The instructions and the details are all here, For each question, select the best answer. The questions can be everything from multiple choice or short answer, essay or matching. We can really create any type of the questions we want. Most professors in general keep it pretty easy with multiple choice because by doing a multiple choice, a student is able to get his or her grade immediately after he or she takes the test. It's also very quick because there's no additional grading that we as professors need to do. However, if there's short answer or essays that you're typing onto the test, the professor then manually has to go in and take a look and grade that portion of the test before the test will officially be graded. Instructions are pretty simple. These are going to be questions that come up on the screen. For each question, select the best answer. After you submit your answer, hit the submit button. There's usually the tests are usually timed. In this case, I've only got 2 questions on the test. It's only going to take 1 minute, but I've given us up to an hour. For the time test, a professor can either allow an hour only, or if a test is started, it can go over an hour, etc. And all these things can be changed to fit the needs and wants of the professor. Now, this is an important one here. Forced completion. Of course, we hope that everybody's on the level and interact honestly with the material. In some cases, a student is allowed to use books, and in that case, you be more applying the knowledge as opposed to the simple definition type multiple choice questions. Forced completion, most people will set this as once you start on the test has to be completed. And the reason for this is that we don't want students, I'm not saying you, but we don't want students going up and opening a test and looking at all the questions, and then they get out of the test and they go get all the answers, and then they start the test again, and now they're answering all the questions. That would be cheating, and we don't want that. So once we begin the test here by hitting begin, you're in for the long haul. Don't click the back button up here. Don't click anything else because you're going to get kicked out of the test. And you're going to have to email the professor probably to beg him or her to let you back into the test. So once you start the test, make sure you have a block of time that will allow you to take advantage of completing the whole test. I practiced before. Sometimes we only have 1 attempt, but other times there can be more, etc. In this case, we can take the test more than once. Let's see. So let's begin the test. So we hit begin here. The information remains up here, and you can see that I've got question 1 here. Which Chicago team won the 2015 and 2012 Stanley Cup? So I can see my choices: Bears, Bulls, Sox, Cubs. None of the above. None of the above. And in fact, I meant to put Blackhawks in here because this is kind of a trick question. I think they won in this year, obviously. I think they won in 2013 and not 12, etc. But in any case, the answer is going to be none of the above. I can see here that the question, my response has been saved. This small arrow over here, both at the bottom and a little bit up here, will advance us to the next question. With a valid ID, which should be worn anytime you're in the building, Robert Morris students can get free entry into the Art Institute over at 111 South Michigan Avenue. It's voted recently by a travel site as the world's best museum. You can get into the Art Institute for free. That is absolutely true. So I'm going to select true. This is question 2 of 2. So this even lets you know how many questions there are. And I'm going to save and submit. And this says, hey, are you sure you want to do that? And I'm like, yes, I'm in control of you. So I save and submit there. This allows me to know when I started, when I finished, etc., etc. And it says hit OK for the results, and I can do that. And it will let you know that I got Ooh, I missed a question. Did I do none? Think I put I forgot to select the right answer of none of the above when I created this test 10 minutes ago. Anyway, but anyway, so I got t in this case 10 out of 20 points, and this will in some cases let you know which questions you've missed, et cetera, et cetera. So from there, that should be it for you. This material here, I believe, I think is available to professors. I'm not sure if students see this exactly. This is all behind the scenes stuff where I'm able to change things on Blackboard. But that's pretty much it. From over here, when I'm totally done with Blackboard, I can click on this button and go to another course if I want or need to. So these are all the other courses and things I'm involved at here at Robert Morris. But in this case, I think I'm just ready to sign out. You do, especially if you're on a public computer, you want to make sure that you do sign out. It's the button here. It says log out. And I'm going to log out, and that takes me back to where I need to go. So I hope you enjoyed the material. I tried to talk as slowly as possible. But once again, don't be afraid to click around. Spend a little time, getting used to the different ways professors work. If you've done it once, it's really a pretty short learning curve. But if you've gone through one class in general, you'll have a good idea of how to do everything. Now, the idea of the doing something, make sure, for example, if you've never done a discussion board before, and the professor's going to have it open until 8 o'clock tonight, don't wait until 7 o'clock if you've never done it before. You know, start a little bit early so you have enough time to get through what you need to get through and learn what you need to learn before you get uh, before you run out of time, basically. So I really appreciate it, and if you need any help, you're welcome to send me an email. This when I'm recording this is actually in the summer at the end of summer one in 2015. So I'm actually going to be off summer two, so I won't be available for email then, and in fact won't be in the building. But we do have plenty of people that are here to help you. So once again, thanks very much and good luck.